Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all having a nice morning. The belt just opened. I didn't even realize it was 9:30 until now, but I had to cut the preview a little short. But here we are. Big day. Big day. So I honestly don't know what's going to happen. I hope we go up after 4 o'clock post-market. But for now, it's just a wait and see type of thing right now. So I've been going through all the market news and the commentary and what everyone else is thinking, all the talking heads on TV. And it's back and forth, either up, down, flat. I mean, I've heard every single prediction or every possibility explained on TV, so I don't know where this thing's gonna go. Most likely, we're gonna dump, just because we've ran up so much. But who knows? Who knows? I think it really, with NVDA earnings, it really comes down to the forward guidance. I think earnings, as far as the earnings and earnings per share and the numbers that come out today, I think they will be strong. I think they'll beat expectations. Um, it's quite obvious the demand is still there as far as the fourth quarter that just passed. Um, but we'll see what they talk about in regards to forward guidance and what they're seeing for the next quarter. That will play a huge role in the stock price today. So yeah. So today I want to definitely stream for this event. I may even run the stream all day, depending on how my other things at work are looking at. I may hop off the mic here and there for periods of time, but I'm probably just going to stream all day, and definitely be on at 4 o'clock. So, yeah. So we're looking at the markets right now. Dow Jones down 156 points. S&P down 0.3%. Q's down 0.57. The VIX is up 4%. I've been watching the VIX. It's kind of breaking out of this 15-point range. We'll see if it continues to rise here, but definitely keep my eyes on the VIX because if you know anything about the VIX, the higher it goes, usually the more volatility is coming into the markets, and you have a higher chance of a dump in the markets. So definitely watching the VIX. It's up 4%. It's been rising since last Monday or 2 weeks ago. So, but as far as NVDA goes, right now we're only down 1.5%. Yesterday was a nasty day. Wasn't the worst. I mean, it was NVIDIA's worst day that we've seen in a long time. I think over a year since we've had a dump like that. But the way I think about it is like we rose up so much like the past week. We're back right to where we were on February 5th, like 2 weeks ago. So it's not like, we dumped and set ourselves back months in price. We're back to where we were like back in February 7th. So only 2 weeks ago. So it's not really that big of a drop in my opinion. When comparing what it did over the past over the past year, really. So right now, just chilling out. I did have a couple levels marked here on NVIDIA. So I have been watching this. I'm gonna jump over to let's do like a 30-minute chart. So if you guys know, I use volume profile sometimes, just to get a better idea of where price is going to settle and reverse and support. So volume range profile, I just set it. I think I used it like around here yesterday, but I basically set these lines at these high volume nodes here, and you can see it's been respecting it. So this 680 level is huge right now, and it's been acting as support since yesterday, and it looks like it's still holding as of today. Sorry about that. I had to blow my nose. Still getting over this flu. It's kind of lingering cough and sniffles. Kind of sucks. Anyways, so yeah, I'm watching the 680 level on NVIDIA, just based off the volume profile, nothing fancy. And yeah, as far as the daily chart moves, I'm looking at the big prices. So I'm looking at like the 800 level here. Looking at the 600. So I'm looking at the whole numbers here. And if we look at the options chain, which if you don't know how the options chain works as far as volatility goes, you can see implied volatility right now is at 174% for the February 23rd contracts, which is extremely high IV. So with that being said, the market is pricing in about a 76-point move. So if we illustrate that on our charts here, from current price right now, I'm just going to do a 76-point move to the upside and mark it. So there, and 76 points down, which is about right there. And I'm just going to color these lines so I know that they are the implied volatility moves here. So basically what I'm looking at, this is basically what the options market is pricing in for the move on earnings. We're either going to have a 11% jump to the upside, or a 11% drop. So either or, we don't know where it's going to go. I really hope it goes up. Obviously, I'm holding NVDA calls right now, and I'm up 158% on that contract. So definitely, definitely wanting this to go up so I can make money. So yeah, but we'll watch it. It looks like NVIDIA is trying to claw back some gains here. It's still holding that 683 level from yesterday. And you can see how back on February 5th, 6th, and 7th, we had a oscillation in price right at this level. So it makes sense that we're finding support here. But we'll see if it holds. All right, so we'll move on to my other trade, Fortinet. Big drop today. I don't really know why it dropped. I actually didn't even look into it, but this is a big drop of 7%. Let me go look at. Looks like it's something related to Palo Alto. Let me see. So Palo Alto. Estimates came in low. While claims of cybersecurity fatigue, massive fans, long-term story. So, Fortinet's having a rough day. So I don't even know what I'm down on that contract now. Let me go check. So yeah, I'm down about 68% on that position right now. So again, this was one of my smaller trades. So we'll see. It could easily come back up. But we'll see how it goes. Unfortunately, at this point, I wasn't really expecting a move like this, but I guess Palo Alto took a hit. Yeah, so it took a 25% hit on earnings. They beat. They must have given bad guidance, if I had to guess, which I think I just read on that article. So, yeah, might be a slowdown coming in cybersecurity, which is causing a sell-off. So nothing directly related to Fortinet, but it's more of a sector sell-off. So, like I said, it looks like all these major firms, Palo Alto's down 25, Fortinet's down 7, CrowdStrike down 11, Sentinel-1 down 8.4. So this is a market-wide sell-off here. So there's a good chance that this can bounce up. The good thing is now we have a gap. So we might be able to fill this gap by the end of the month and at least break even on my trade here. So we'll see. And also, if NVIDIA does well end of today, best believe this stock will rally. This could be related to NVIDIA too. Could just be a sell-off in tech. Listen, it may be a warning sign this month. Listen, I've had months where I'm up good, and then by the time the end of the month rolls around, I'm flat on my positions or I'm down. That's just part of my strategy. Part of my strategy is just letting the market dictate my my performance, which I think is the best thing. I mean, that's how people run their retirement accounts, right? So, really, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I just put on the trade and let the market do the rest of the work for me. But hopefully Fortinet can come back up here. Again, this was a smaller trade of mine. And it sucked because I was up about 130% on earnings here when it spiked up, and it got slammed. Um, but this thing's been moving up for a while, and I was looking at NVDA too. I mean, if we just draw a box, a line, just a trend up on NVIDIA. Actually, I'm going to keep that line there. You can see it's kind of losing momentum here. So listen, I mean, the market's rallied a lot, this whole month. So it makes sense that we're getting a sell-off. Eventually things that move up really fast have to sell off. But there could still be upside. So moving on to Trade Desk. Trade Desk is probably the only stock that's up so far now. Well, besides NVIDIA. NVIDIA is doing well so far. We'll see after today. Fortinet's down, and then Trade Desk. Trade Desk is still doing well. So whoever's in this trade, congrats. It did look like it took a hit yesterday, down 7%, and then it's down slightly more today. There's been a broad sell-off in the market. You can see the Qs are selling off, the S&P, the Russell. So this is more of a market-wide sell-off. So it's really, I think a lot of weight is being put on NVIDIA right now. Might be too much. So as far as that goes, looking at the rest of the market here, yeah, a lot of selling off. Crypto's down. Bitcoin's still holding 50K. That's good. Gold's up slightly. Oil's up slightly. Yields are down, which is negative for tech. So that's also putting a hamper on things. You're going to see yields move around a lot today after NVIDIA comes out. The only stocks that are on my list that are up is Apple, Amazon, Tesla, Burke. I actually am interested in Tesla. Tesla sold off a lot and has been lagging. I mean, it's actually down 22% year to date, so this has been underperforming compared to the rest of the tech sector. I'm kind of interested in Apple. Or not Apple, Tesla. And this is a stock that I'm not going to be trading for a while, unfortunately, but this is looking like a nice setup here for Tesla. You're in that discount window, and there's good upside opportunity, and you have plenty of runway because earnings aren't until April. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So really the big focus today is NVIDIA, and they're estimating a 4.59 EPS, earnings per share. So we'll see. See if it could do it. I mean, the growth on NVIDIA has been insane. Not only its stock price, but the company itself. I mean, you can see the net margins, 50% on revenue. I mean, that's crazy. Just to put things into perspective, the third quarter of NVIDIA, they brought in 18 billion in revenue and 9 billion in net income. In 2020 alone, so about 4 years ago, they only brought in 16 billion in revenue and 4 billion in net income. So one quarter of NVIDIA dwarfs an entire year, which is insane. I mean, they're making 9 billion in net income from one quarter, and 2021 in 2021 they only brought in 9 billion in net income. So basically, one quarter is now a year. That's insane growth. I mean, that's like 400%, 500% gains in net income, um, over comparing it to 1 year of growth. So I mean that it makes sense as to why the price is moving up so much. The earnings per share, or the price to earnings, is 95, but the forward PE is telling a different story on NVIDIA. So let me find a good site here. Let me find the forward PE. So here's just a valuation and analysis of NVIDIA's earnings, or previous earnings. And you can see the PE ratio, price to earnings, which takes price to earnings. Basically, you're taking the price of the stock and dividing it by earnings, which gives you a ratio. That's 9.68, or 91.63. I'm sorry, guys, 91.63 PE. But the forward PE, this is what it's doing. If you read here, the forward price to earnings ratio is like the PE ratio, except it uses the estimated earnings over the next year instead of the historical earnings. So, taking into account the future growth of NVIDIA over the next year, its PE ratio is actually 38.65, which is still higher, but it's actually not bad of a PE for the type of growth that this company is experiencing. So you're going to see today this PE ratio of 91, or what is it, 95, give or take. If earnings come out good or they beat, you're going to see this PE ratio drop. You're going to see this PE ratio drop by a certain amount. And so does the forward PE, depending on the estimates. And we may actually have a rally on our hands if that's the case. Another thing to factor in, this is just me using just like statistics and probabilities, because this is how I think. If you look at the previous earnings for NVIDIA, so for November, the last time they reported, November, they dumped about 2% after earnings. Okay, so after earnings in November, we went down. Earnings in August, we went up. We went up actually quite a bit here. Went up about 6%, but then sold off and then rolled over for the rest of the quarter. And then the last time NVIDIA really spiked up on earnings was back in May. I'm sure everyone remembers that if you were in the markets at that time. NVIDIA spiked 24%. So, and then before that, this time last year, February 22nd, 2023, earnings came out and we jumped up 14%. So, what I'm trying to explain here is the past couple earnings on NVIDIA have been a little uneventful. We haven't seen crazy moves to the upside, nor really crazy moves to the downside. So I think that increases the probability of us moving to the upside or trading flat post-market today. But you're gonna see volatility. I mean, the price swings are gonna be pretty crazy when earnings come out today. You're gonna see huge swings to the downside, and then a huge swing to the upside. And then probably after about 10, 15, 20 minutes, you're going to see a direction be chosen. And then you have the earnings call. And then the earnings call could send the price higher or lower. So It's going to take a little bit of time to really see where things are going to go, but you're going to see a lot of volatility. Um, and I was saying, like, we're probably going to see about 10 to 11% swings in the price potentially. I mean, if you calculate that, if you take the market cap of NVIDIA, which is 1.67 trillion right now, I don't even know how what's a trillion? That's a million. That's a billion. 16 billion. 106. That's a trillion right there, right? 1.67 trillion multiplied by, let's say, a 10% move to the upside or downside. I mean, you're talking about $167 billion potentially leaving or entering the market within, an hour. So there's going to be extreme volume, extreme volatility potentially on this earnings. And again, like another thing I kind of liked, I kind of was happy to see a little bit of a sell-off. I wouldn't really consider this a huge dump or horrific move. I was actually happy to see this cool off a little bit and come back down from like the 750 level, because usually when you get a little sell-off before an earnings release, it's actually a good sign. You can see here back in May, before we moved up 25% on earnings here in May, we had a sell-off of about 4%, 3.6, 4%. And you could see, I think it did the same thing back here too, back in this time last year. So this time last year, NVIDIA sold off about 9.86% before popping on earnings. And then you can look at the previous two earnings releases that they kind of rallied up into earnings and stayed up, and then they kind of traded sideways, or they moved to the downside. So right now, what's the price at? Right now, we're sitting at about an 8% sell-off from its high back on Friday, or its highest price point from Friday. So there's a good chance that earnings come out and we pop up on this news. So again, if we move up about 10%, we may be looking at $164, $165. That's just post market. I mean, this thing can continue to rise, and if we go to the downside, we're looking at about 609, 600. So, if we do go down, if we do in fact go down on earnings, you're going to see a lot of buying come in. So I would expect to see some big bottom wicks, because there are a lot of people on the sidelines right now that want to hop into NVIDIA, and they're hoping today to see a dump in price so they could scoop up, at a 10% discount or 20% discount. I don't know how much the stock's going to sell off over the next couple weeks, if it does. But you're going to see a lot of buying pressure come in. There's a good chance that we sell off today, and then over the course of next week, we rally. That can happen too. So we might just shake out the volatility today, post-market, and into tomorrow, and then the buyers are going to step in and buy at the discounted levels and rally the stock back up pretty quick. So that's what I'm looking at. Again, right now we're down about 2%. So right now, just sitting back. That's it. There's really nothing else to do. I will say this: if you're in a trade right now, or if you're in NVIDIA in this case, and you're worried that it's going to go down, you're going to lose your money or lose your profits. If you're worried about that, it usually means that you have too much money on the table. So I would highly suggest taking profits or closing the trade before earnings, so that you don't end up losing money. like I'm in this trade right now for NVDA. You can see here I'm up 140% on my trade right now. I've been in this trade since the beginning of the month, and I'm willing to lose this money. So I'm risking what I'm allowing to lose. I'm willing to lose. But if you're in a trade right now and you're not feeling comfortable about it as far as the risk, like you need the money in the trade, um, get out. That's all I'm going to suggest. It usually means your position size is too big. Um, so right now we're up. How much am I up on the month? Up about $3,600 on the month. So I mean, I think last week I was up about like 10 grand on the month. So I took a hit. I took a hit so far, but again, I'm just following my strategy, following my statistics. The way I trade is systematic. If you haven't seen my strategy, I've explained it in other videos, but the way I trade is time-based. I don't enter or exit based off of lines on a chart, or like I look at price levels and all that stuff and volume. I enjoy looking at that stuff, but I don't base my trades off of them. I just use technical analysis as an aid to kind of get an influence or get an idea of where the market wants to go. But the core strategy I use is not using technical analysis at all, actually. All of my decisions are driven based off of data, and statistics. That's just how I trade. Ever since I've been trading like that, I've been profitable. I've tried trading technical analysis solely, and it did not work out great. So, yeah. Hey DC, don't worry. If you're a swing trader, you can be late to the market. We're not day trading, or scalping. So that's the benefit of swing trading. So yeah, today I wanted to try to stream all day. I may take a break from the stream around lunchtime, but today I just wanted to go. I want to get as many people in the stream as possible. So if you guys can, like, I give out all my content for free and my strategy for free, and I show real profit and loss. If you guys, like, the one thing that I beg of you to do for me is just hit that like button. That's the best thing you could do. So please smash it. Smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and hit the bell notifications. I stream randomly. I don't really have a set schedule. Many of my regular subscribers that join the streams understand that. So yeah. And also I have a Discord, it should be linked in the description of this stream. Yeah, it is. So if you want, join the Discord. It's completely free. I'll even post it here on the live chat. Let me pin it actually so it doesn't disappear. There we go. So join the Discord. Again, completely free. We already have, I'm surprised by the amount of people that are in the community. So the Discord's growing pretty quick. I get a few people entering it in each day. So yeah, no problem, Raul. So what am I looking for ideas for next month? Yeah, so pretty much after like today, like this week, by next week I gotta start putting out the new ideas for March. I haven't really told you guys what I'm gonna be trading yet. I'll probably get to that by next week. So make sure to follow the streams going into. Maybe I'll do a stream on Sunday, this Sunday, and we'll do a analysis. I already have my main stock pick, of course, and then we could do an analysis on some alternative trades that are a little bit more affordable. I will say this though, my main trade that I'm doing this for March, um, is actually affordable. So as far as like alternative trades, I'll still put out my picks, but um, the main trade that I'm doing should be affordable for most of you guys. So, but we'll try to find stuff that's a little cheaper or around the same area that you might like more. So, um, what about Starbucks? Starbucks, I haven't looked at. Let's go look at Starbucks. Yeah, Starbucks looks decent as far as the monthly performance. Um, I'd have to backtest Starbucks to really get a good idea. Yeah, I feel like Sunday's like the best day to stream because that's when like Sunday evening, Sunday night, because that's when most people, they finish eating dinner, they're relaxing, they're on their phone or computer, um, and I think it's a good time to hop on stream usually. Um, so really, I should like keep the Sunday streams for like analysis, pure analysis. I think that'd be a good idea. We could look at Starbucks real quick. Actually, let me just look at something. So let me go to S-Bucks. So Starbucks for March. So the median return and the average return is, it's not bad, but past couple of years it hasn't really been performing that well. Starbucks may not have enough volatility to make profit. You would have to backtest this to really look at the numbers here. It looks like since 2019 it did decent, but like 1.5% gain in 1 month. That may not be enough to make a profit. Unless IV is low enough, but I don't think IV is that low on Starbucks. Let's go look. 20%. I mean, it's not horribly high. Let me set this to. There we go. So maybe something worth looking at. Starbucks definitely looks better for November. I mean, November's such a great month for the markets, but I like November here. I like July for Starbucks. You see these gains like 10%, 8%, even like the 3% and like 7%, though, that's what you want to go after, right? Just because you see good monthly performance, like March, yeah, March is the highest win rate for Starbucks. Um, and this is looking at 16 years of performance, and if you look at stock charts, this is 20 years. July and November are much better months to trade Starbucks, and you're gonna notice like after doing so much analysis on your own, like certain months are just not that great for the stock market. Like for most stocks, like they kind of trade flat. They're not really that volatile. You're dealing with IV crush and theta decay, so it's kind of like some months just perform better on average than others. November's a great month. December's usually a good month. Um, so it really depends. I mean, you could just look at like the Qs here and just see how they perform. Like this is just the index. And you can see like July performs really. I didn't know that. Wow, July is a really good month for the Qs. Really? Wow. Yeah, 90% of the time the Qs go up in July. Um, but like you could see like February is usually a rough month. September, everyone knows September's a rough month. So, the overall market seasonality has an effect on each stock pick. But the reason why I go after single stocks is because you increase your odds of winning when you do that. So see what we got here. You know what I have to turn off? CBOW. I have to take on Apple, small swing from the low yesterday, demand zone, and have closed it in 5 minutes in the sessions. 50% win. Very happy. My plan was to close it before the news and NVDA. Nice. Nice trade. Just reading off the Discord chat. So yeah, this is what we're looking at for profits so far. So, I mean, this week was rough. Yesterday I was down. I think I was down like 3,000 yesterday. I don't even know. It was a lot. And then today we're down another like $1,400. So we're sitting about $4,000 profit for the month. Much lower compared to where we were last week. But plenty of time to trade the markets today. Well, I'm not trading. At least watch the markets. SPX looking like a nice buy right now. Looking like a nice buy. Spider ETFs. Yeah, so I've looked at Spider ETFs. And you have them all right here. I think like XLK would be the best to trade because it has the highest volatility because it's tech. So like XLE. You can see it usually does the best in March and April. So, but like with trading an index, the one problem with it is it trades more so flat, and then you have like random spikes throughout the year. That's just the nature of an index. So it's harder to trade it because it trades flat usually. They're not trading flat right now, don't get me wrong. Right now these ETFs like the Qs have been flying. But like if you just look back, most of the time they're day to day, they're just kind of chopping, and then they have rallies, and then they chop again or go down, and they have another rally. I mean, because it's a ETF and has a basket of tech stocks in this case for the Qs. You're dealing with you're diversifying your risk, right? When you're in a Q, so the volatility is naturally lower compared to, let's say, like NVDA stock or AMD stock. So that's why I don't really trade it. XLF. I mean, the great thing about like XLF, let's say, like you could do long-term plays with this. I mean, this thing, wow, XLF really rallied. Wow. Right, like if you were going to take a put on XLF, the only thing I would suggest is to go further out in duration. The good thing is, I don't think the contracts are that expensive for XLF. It's pretty cheap actually. So if we go to like, let's say like an 80-day, I mean, you're only paying $100. What's the theta? The theta is like $1 a day. So if you're gonna go with XLF, like buy puts, like the only thing I would suggest is to go far out of the money, or not far out of the money. Jesus, don't go far out of the money. That's a higher chance of losing. Um, the theta's still not bad. Theta's actually like pretty consistent down the board. It's all like 1 cent or $1 per day. Let me look at. So yeah, like March. Let's say you're going to trade March. I mean, the past 5 years. The past 5 years, XLF only goes up 25% of the time, and it has a pretty negative average. Oh, XLF. Past 16 years. I mean, it has a pretty negative March. Buying puts would be better in June. It'd be better to buy puts in June. You have a better chance of catching one of these bigger moves to the downside. That's the thing with puts. You got to be careful. You need a big move to the downside to make a lot of money off of puts compared to calls. Calls are easier to trade because you have infinite profit potential. With puts, your profit potential is limited because if the price goes down, the furthest it can go is 0. So, unless it's a futures contract like oil, when oil went to like negative $30, I definitely look at puts on XLF in June. March isn't a horrible idea. Be careful at March because this data is a little skewed from 2020 when the market's dumped in March 2020. Be careful with that. If it were me, I'd be buying calls for XLF in March. Although right now it's touching, it's about to make new highs, and there's a good chance that it rejects this level. But if it does reject, I don't think it's going to crater unless something happens news-wise with the banks. So my trade algo source hedge funds loaded up on June puts at the $38 level, or 38 strike on XLF, and 168 on IWM, 10 million worth. Could just be hedging their position. Yeah. I've looked into options activity. Unusual options activity. You got to be careful with that stuff because sometimes it could be someone just simply entering a credit spread, let's say, and they're selling 10 million worth of options and then buying 10 million. They could be buying and selling a call option or put option at the same time. So you got to be careful. But it could be a possibility. They're hedging at 38. I mean, it makes sense that they're looking at 38 here. If I just mark this on a chart, 38 is right at the top of this range here. So they could be looking at a move down back to like this area right here. Could be a possibility. But as far as like seasonality goes, I guess this is a weaker time of the year for XLF. It looks like XLF does much better in July and then into like October, November, December. That's usually when XLF does better. So yeah, it could just be a hedge. If anything, that like just looking at, if anything, like right now, like let's say March, it's more of a sideways type of market seasonally for XLF, so they could just be selling options here. They're just selling options, taking advantage of that diminished price movements and just collecting theta, collecting the premium on theta. So ANF for February. Did I suggest ANF for February? Oh, Abercrombie and Fitch. Oh yeah, we did look at this one. It's coming back to me now. We've looked at so many stocks. Yeah, this thing. What did it do? I mean, this was a great entry on January 31st. You would have bought the bottom right there. 18%. You're still up 14. Not bad. I don't know what that translates into an options contract, but probably a good amount. What's the IV on ANF? It's actually pretty high IV. IV is pretty high, 68%. But still, it probably would have done well. So it has become more fun for me, no anxiety. Also, I'm only trading when I'm willing to lose completely. There you go. That's it. I mean, you should always be entering a trade with a certain amount of risk. And the reason why, like, stop losses, people say to use a stop loss is because I think a lot of times when you're using a stop loss, you're referring to trading shares or trading futures contracts. With options, you can have an options contract, you buy it for $100, and it goes down to $50 within a couple days. Options contracts are way more volatile than compared to, let's say, a share price. I mean, a share price can be volatile too, depending on what you're trading, but options contracts are definitely more volatile. So the idea I have, like how I approach options is, all right, like if I'm putting $500 into an options contract, like I'm willing to lose that money completely. So that way of trading, you kind of have to have, and I know like, oh, this may be a problem for some people, but you have to have a certain size, account size. Like you need to have $10,000, $20,000 to sustain that type of risk, right? As far as like your total account value. I think to really get into this, as far as like the risk goes and trying to sustain your account for the long run, and be able to trade, the next month, I think you need at least like a $10,000 account. Um, Listen, you could trade with a smaller account, but you got to be more picky, and you got to trade smaller. Like you got to go out and find stocks that do perform well, but have a lower price that you can manage the risk with. So, um, yeah, you would have made $1,000 on ANF. Wow. Yeah, that would have been what would be the percentage gain on that? We can go look real quick. Let's just do a quick analysis on ANF. I need another coffee. Gotta mute my Discord settings here. Just got a new welcome, Jan. Gotta actually, I should turn off the notifications for just for the stream at least. I don't want things popping up on my screen. Alright, so let's look at ANF. Let's say we bought the 42 Delta for $640. Now I don't have data going up to the most recent day, but I can go up to the 16th, which would place us right at the top. So let's say we're measuring, I mean, the gain's going to be less, but let's say you're measuring to the highest point, which is 18%. Let's go see what this profit would be. 173%. So yeah, you would have made $1,085 at its peak. So it's probably down a little bit now. It's probably down to like 800. So that's exactly what I've been doing. Smaller stocks are getting the job done. Nice TDM. DC said, I started with $700 in November when I found your channel and strategy. Now I'm at $3,200 following your strategy. That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, what is that? I mean, what's that gain on your account? Obviously, you're taking big risk as far as your account size, but you have a small account. So, again, like if you have like $1,000 or $2,000 account, yeah, you're gonna have to put 20% of your account or 30% of your account into one trade just because the options contract is so large. So you have a $3,200 account and you started out with $700 divided by 700. You're up 350. Your account is up 357% over the past 3-4 months. I'd assume. I've only been on this YouTube hobby, this YouTube journey for about 5 months or so. But that's awesome. Congratulations. I was gonna buy 110 for 320, and I would have sold it. Wow. But hey, you're still in profit, and you know what? Like A and F right now, this chart's looking really good. I mean, I know I don't trade based off of a chart, but it right now what it's looking to do, it's looking to make a higher low right here and continue to go up. So you may be ending the month if you're still holding. I mean, look at this trend. This trend is like just wow. That's a nice trend. We'll see. I mean, listen, today the markets could flush this. If NVDA earnings don't come through, we could flush. But let's assume we just draw a line, a basic line, just to get a projection up until the 29th. I'd assume you're going to be closing on the 29th. Yeah, you might be sitting around $123. So it's a good profit. But we'll see. And then you have earnings coming up right here shortly after, so they're buying this up into earnings. Abercrombie and Fitch have been doing great recently. I'm not gonna lie, I actually have a jacket from them, and it's a nice jacket. Very stylish. But yeah, congrats on the. Well, you said you weren't in the trade, but hey, you can't win them all. The amount of trades I see go by and that I could have taken advantage of happens every day. The market's constantly presenting opportunities and taking money, giving and taking constantly. I'm like a Fortinet right now. It's looking like it's trying to climb back up here. It's got a big gap to fill now. Nice like 3-point gap. Technically, it had a gap down here already. No, it filled. Filled right here. Almost filled. It looks like it filled a gap right here, and I really want to see this move back up. What am I down on Fortinet? I'm down 54% on Fortinet. Should have just sold this on earnings, because this was like a smaller play of mine. But it's fine. Just hold it. Still have another, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days, so not bad. Alright. I am going to be right back. Gotta go make some coffee and might get a bagel too upstairs, so be right back. All right. Sorry about the pause. What are we looking at here? What do we got? So yeah, just watching NVDA right now. $667. 677. All right. Sorry about that. I'm munching on a bagel right now. Uh, Looking at cost for March. Costco. How's Costco been doing? Let's get a monthly here. Wow. Missed out big on Costco for December. Seasonality didn't pick that up. It actually does well in November, which it did. That's nice. It's a nice gain right there. Looking at it for March. March doesn't seem like a great month for Costco, historically speaking. It does have, I guess the returns aren't horrible. March would be much better for July or November, I think. Right? Yeah, July, November. Wow. 100% rate for November? That's surprising. All right. Bagel is consumed. Now I can get back to talking a little bit. AMAT. Another surprise I see for November. Yeah. I think I've looked at that one before. Yeah. Does well in February too. How did AMAT do? Yeah. Just doing good for February so far, up 14%. Kind of in line with NVDA, right? AMAT's wait, what is AMAT? I thought it was a tech company. Is it? Yeah, semiconductors. Okay. But they do. I think they do the manufacturing. Is that what they do? You're gonna see this stock move on today's news on NVIDIA earnings. So, yeah, another good stock. Sorry guys, I'm just doing some work on the side here. So if I go quiet, I'm still here. So if you chat, I'll look at the chat and see it. But just doing things off screen right now. So like I said, I'm probably gonna stream most of today. Um, I will probably hop off around lunchtime. So I'll hop off around lunchtime, eat lunch, and then get back on. Um, maybe around 3 o'clock. Uh, yeah, I'll probably get on around like 3 o'clock for the NVIDIA earnings. So we'll have plenty to do today. But for now, we're just watching the morning session. All right, so let's see what NVIDIA's doing. We got a 5 minute. Yeah, just bouncing up and down, bouncing up and down. Nothing too crazy going on here. Is Fortinet still going up? Fortinet's trying to claw its way back up. We're just pinned right to this like 682, 680 level. Pinned right to it. Can't hear me? You should be able to hear me right now. I haven't, I've been a little quiet for the past few minutes. I was eating before, just taking care of things for work. So, apologies for the silence. I was looking into, man, I missed out on this one, SoundHound. I heard someone suggest it to me. Probably, let's see, wasn't last week, wasn't this week. They suggested it back in like this week, like last week of January. Man, if I bought a call option contract on that, I mean, this thing went up 121%. God, what even is that? What does it sound? Yeah, I was looking at Costco for March. I think Costco for March is. Oh, Cisco, I'm sorry. I thought you meant Costco. Alright. Just looking at the data here for Cisco for March. 58% win over the past 10 years. Again, 44, 5 years. Yeah, I would not touch Cisco for March. And then W, Wayfair. This is kind of a newer stock, right? There's probably not much data. Wayfair for March? No. I wouldn't touch Wayfair or Cisco for March. No way. Probably better off buying puts. Or not trading it at all. I wanted to see how much this gain on SoundHound would be. Oh, 1,200%. Wow. Missed out on that one. That sucks. So if you don't know, SoundHound was like partially bought by NVDA. they took a stake in their company, which sent their stock rallying like 150%. So that's that. Can't win them all. Fortinet trying to climb back up here. Let's see if we can regain this like 67 level. It's climbing up pretty quick. NVDA just still chopping. So let's see what Trade Desk is doing. Trade Desk looks like it had a pop and selling off a little bit here. Nothing too crazy. Rest of the market, Birkenstock. Man, this Birkenstock is up like every single day. Did it just make new highs? It did make new highs. Damn. All right. Yields are going up. I said before yields were going down, which hurt tech stocks. I meant to say the other way around. Yields are up now, which is not good for tech. Gold's still there. Oil's getting a little bit more of a rally going. VIX is coming off a little bit. At market open, the VIX was at like almost 5%. Now it's down to 1.82%, so a little bit of a drawback on VIX. So if you notice on the daily, the whole moving average, which I like to use as a decent trend indicator. I don't trade based off of it, but it's curling downwards now. It just flashed red for NVIDIA, which is no good. Although, listen, we've seen it flash red in the past before, and it quickly recovers. But typically, when you see this HMA turn red or point downwards, usually a sell action ensues. Usually, not all the time. It's really when the price crosses through the HMAs when it really starts to move, which it already did that a while back here. So, just watching NVIDIA. I said we have about 5 hours and 7 minutes until earnings come out. So, getting down to the clock here.
NVDA holding down 2%. Oh man. Looking like it's trying to move back up. Let's look at the 5-minute. Let's go look at the 1-minute. 1 minute's starting to make higher lows. 3-minute. See if the 3-minute flashes white. See if it starts going back up here. Wait and see. A lot of waiting today. All right, are we gonna get some movement on NVIDIA? This is just gonna chop all day, guys. Like, I think if we're gonna see any action for NVIDIA, it's gonna be towards the last like hour or so. But for now, NVIDIA is just gonna oscillate. The bears and the bulls are fighting it out. Actually, let me take a look at the volume here. Volume is. I guess it's on par. It's much less than yesterday. Yesterday there was a lot more volume, a lot more movement, but right now it's just low volume chop. But we're definitely down. Looks like we tested yesterday's lows and kind of bounced off of that, and now yeah, we're just bouncing off the 680 level. 683 level. That's it. They're just pinning it right to 680. Again, the implied volatility right now. IV may continue to increase throughout today. Let me take a look at NVIDIA. 73. Looks like implied volatility 73. I guess I could do a little education for you guys right now. So there's two ways to measure your expected move on a stock. So implied volatility and expected move go hand in hand. So the expected move derives from the implied volatility. So the implied volatility is 172%, which translates into an expected move of 73.55 points plus or minus. And then another way to measure it is to take, I think it's the, yeah, so you take the strangle price
of the call and put. So if you don't have, for some reason, your options chain isn't showing the expected move, like the point, usually implied volatility you can get like the percentage, but the expected move you can't get as easily sometimes. I know this happens with my back testing software on Thinkorswim on demand. So if I want to get the expected move, I just take the in the money call and the in the money put, or at the money technically. So like right now NVDA is at 680. I'm going to take the 680 strike and the 682.5 strike. And you can see the total amount for the trade, a debit in this case, would be $73.10, which is right around that $73 expected move here on the options chain. So that's another way to get the expected move, and then of course you apply that to a chart here. So in this case, so this is 84. So is the volatility coming down? So I'm going to take the applied volatility, and what was it? It was 73. So I'm going to go 73 up, 73 down. And you can see, I think this one was it right there. So you can see as the day goes on, the expected range changes, or expected move changes. Usually IV increases into the close on earnings. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. Too soon for DBX, bad earnings. DBX, is that a stock? I'm assuming. Dropbox. Did they just have earnings? They did. What'd they do? They dropped 22%? Jeez. That sucks. So let's see. Let's go look at this here. The only thing with DBX is it only has 7 years of data, so it's kind of hard to base seasonality off of this. It does do better in March. It typically does better in January and June. I mean, listen, if you're going to buy DBX for a long-term play and you believe in the company is profitable. I see it has a PE ratio of 18. It has positive earnings per share. I wouldn't say it's a huge grower. Let me look at a monthly chart. I mean, this stock's only a few years old, 6 years. So, man, that's a nasty drop. Let's put it this way. Every time, like we're just simply looking at Dropbox on a monthly chart. When was the last time Dropbox did something like this? It moved down, 20%. The last time it did that was back in November 21. And what kind of price action ensued after that drop? You went down another 15%, and you just chopped for a while. And again, like you could look back here, August 2019. What happened after this? You did jump back up 20%, but you continued to fall down. So it's kind of, I think Dropbox is probably going to chop most likely here. It had a nice move up. If anything, it's trading a range here. So if I just draw like a horizontal line here, you can see every time it gets up to this like $32 level, it rejects. Maybe a little bit higher, like $33. Right? So if it's going to stay in this range here, and let's say at $19, that's a buy area, and that's what you're dealing with. That's what you're dealing with here. It's just a range. And this is a range over the course of months too. This isn't something that's taken place over like a couple months. This is Look, like the bottom of a range here, October 20 up to August. Like that's a full year of move. This would be a good, potentially a good candidate for leaps if you're into leaps. I think there's better options, no pun intended, but you buy a leaps contract at the bottom of a range here, and you hold it for an entire year or more. Pretty good chance you go to the upside. Pan W, yeah, Palo Alto. Yeah, we were looking at that before. It took a nasty hit, about a 26% hit, and it's still dropping today. It's it's furthering that downside loss. So Palo Alto took a nasty hit. And I was talking about this before because Fortinet is in that cybersecurity realm, which I'm in right now too, as far as call option. And yeah, you can just see the article here. Palo Alto managed to terrify more than its own shareholders with fiscal second quarter report. The results in company outlook knocked off 26% off the company share price. Setting up could be the stock's single worst day on record. Why the share pain? Palo Alto's revenue for January quarter barely exceeded Wall Street's forecast. The company's projected billings growth of just 3% year over year. Yikes, that's not good. Quarter, dude, who typed this article? Like, were you like smashing your keyboard? Quarter? Like, come on, let's like get good with the spelling here. Dan Gallagher, come on, dude. Like this spelling is horrible. 16% growth. All right, so they missed huge on growth. Chalked up. So that they're seeing fading demand, right? That's pretty much the name of the game here. So they'll need to show the Palo Alto's fatigue has not sapped their own strength. So yeah, analysts and Wall Street are worried about future guidance on cybersecurity, right? So that's why you're seeing a market-wide sell-off in the cybersecurity sector. The good news is Fortinet's trying to recover here. I've been watching it, and it's slowly grinding back up. But we'll see. Nothing's guaranteed. Really, the big cojones today is NVDA. Gotta watch NVIDIA. If any of you are just joining the stream, please hit the like button. That's the best thing you can do for me, guys. I appreciate it so much. Again, I give out all my content for free. I have a free Discord. It's linked in the description of the stream. It's also pinned on the chat. You can join for free. We already have a decent amount of members in the community, so try to get in there. And yeah, but yeah, the like button. That's the best thing you can do for me. I don't sell any courses. I run a free Discord. I don't plan on selling anything anytime soon. And yeah, I give out my strategy for free. I show real profit and loss here. Here's my real account. Obviously, I have numbers and stuff blocked off for privacy reasons and account numbers, but you can see my real profits here and losses. I'm up 137% on NVIDIA so far this month. I was up about 300% earlier, a couple weeks ago, like last week, but obviously the stock's taken a little tumble. And Fortinet, I'm down a little bit, down about $400 on, but yeah. So if you're just all joining, make sure to be part of the community. It's completely free. Nothing to lose except trades. I cannot get rid of this cough. Alright, so what's NVDA doing? Damn, that candle smacked red. Wow. I want to see this move up. So, if you guys don't know, I used to trade SPX on like a 1 minute chart. I know, pretty crazy. But the way like I would do it is use like a moving average, like a colored SMA, and I would use like change that to white, leave that red, and then I would change like the length to like 3. Basically, whenever this moving average would turn white, I would enter. It would work actually a little bit, but it was just kind of a more hit or miss strategy. That's how I used to day trade, and then I tried levels, and I just didn't really like it. It's just too choppy. That's why I switched to day trade, not day trading, swing trading, and I've been doing really well. You could see I'll show my trade journal. So far, I don't want to reveal any private information here, but this is my trading journal so far since beginning on September. Well, back in October, so I'm about 4 months in. So far, my total realized profit and loss or profits is $5,690. And so far this month, we're up 3,600. We'll see what today brings with NVIDIA earnings. I'm either going to lose money and break a little even, probably be down a little bit for the month, or just make a lot of money today. So we'll see. We'll be on stream for the earnings, of course. So let's say like we're at 3,600. So I'm probably up about 8-9 grand so far in the past like 4 months on the account. So it's not bad. And yeah. But you can see I took a hit on Fang, I took a hit on LLY, Apple back in September, or I mean October. So you win some, you lose some. It just shows you, like you can see here, I only have two out of my 6 trades or 5 trades are winners, and I'm up. Although this Fang trade is smaller. Really, I should only be including LLY, but I'm including everything on here. So yeah, up nicely so far this month. Alright, SPX is starting to move up higher here. It's actually been drilling higher since about 11 o'clock. And I think the rest of the market's pursuing. I think it's NVIDIA that's doing it. Because NVIDIA started moving at 11:06, and so did the rest of the market, so. Nice 15-minute candlestick. Hey, you never know. Maybe we'll end the day green before earnings. Yeah, later today's gonna be pretty crazy, I think. Unfortunately, post market options are closed. Can't trade options overnight. So I won't really know my final numbers until tomorrow morning. Or not final numbers, but where my position's going to be at. I can get a decent idea using a calculator, but it's going to be quite exciting. This is like I think this is like one of the biggest earnings releases this year so far. But I'm betting to the upside. Let's go look at the options chain. So if you guys want to see something cool, you can look at where money's being placed on the options chain. So we're going to look at volume and open interest here. So let's just look at the call side right now. They're trading. I saw activity all the way out. Oh my god, someone put 15,000 on 1300. What about to the downside? 500, decent amount at 500 there. 550, 600, so they're looking at the whole numbers here. 650. Collectively, let's look at the open interest too. So open interest really what you want to look at. Volume is important too, but open interest is the amount of contracts that are opened and closed or open currently. So you got 16,000 there. What's the open interest back here? So there's definitely more open interest. You can see a lot here around 1,000. 1,000 has a lot of open interest. 900. What else? 800. So they're trading the whole numbers here. 750. So the highest amount around 700. 700 is probably the biggest. So, and this is on a 2DT contract. If we go to, let's say we go to my contract, which is the March 15th. Let's see where the open interest is here. A lot more open interest. So there's definitely more open interest on the call side. We can also look at the call put parity. I don't know if I can pull it up on TradingView. Call put parity TradingView. Is that what it is? 0.74. Let me go to the daily here. So whenever this number is below 1, that means that there's more calls being held than puts. So let me go to like a monthly here. And it can move very fast too, this call put parity. Let's do call put parity NVDA. Bar chart, you can use bar chart. 0.85. So on the 23rd, about 15% more calls than puts right now that are being held. So it's definitely bullish. And that's all the way out until June. Looks like June's a little bit lower. September's lower, of course. So a lot of bullish bets right now. The highest call or the best put call ratio. Wait, am I looking at the right ratio here? Yeah, is March 8th. Right here. You could just see it already with the open interest, 2,000 here. And if you go to like a similar, it's only like 197. A lot of money in this contract right here, March 8th. Yeah, this has the biggest open interest. So Ivy's actually like kind of leveling out here. I mean, it's already high enough, so. Hey T. It's a big day. What about Etsy? What's happening to FTNT, or you already covered that? No. Oh, well, yeah, I already covered it. About to catch a plane, have a safe flight. Yeah, FTNT took a spill. It's related to Palo Alto, Pan W. Here's the article right here. Palo Alto earnings cast of Paul for cybersecurity. So this is you can see some related cybersecurity stocks are all down. Palo Alto is down 26%. So yeah, it took a pretty big hit. Fortinet's trying to claw its way back, but we'll see. We will see. Fortinet came out with good earnings, so, but this is a sector-wide sell-off. So yeah. Other than that, we're just watching NVDA earnings today. That's the big story. So just sitting back and waiting. But yeah, Fortinet, I'm down 52% on Fortinet. So is what it is. Yeah, the trade may not work out well. I mean, we still have a few more days, but it is what it is. You can't win them all. I'm more concerned about NVIDIA. So we're not concerned, but I'm more focused on NVIDIA. Whatever happens, happens. My risk is managed, and it's just sit back, wait and see. Yeah, Fortinet long term will probably rise. If NVIDIA earnings come out good and the market likes its guidance and they're signaling more strength, you're going to see much of this, well, most of tech at least, rally big time. Let's say NVIDIA goes up 5, 6, let's say NVIDIA goes up 10%, right? It goes up 10% post-market. You're going to see Apple, Amazon, AMD. You're going to see all the other big boys. They're going to go up, 1, 2, 3% post-market. Ever since earnings for NVIDIA have hit the tape on the news, a lot of stocks started to take a pause and sell off a little bit. So NVIDIA has a lot of weight on the market. They have a lot on their shoulders. So it's going to be big. It's a big event. It's probably one of the biggest events this year. It'll be a big event either for the Bears or the Bulls. We'll see. Hopefully for us, the Bulls. I'm a Bull, so. You did well on NVIDIA? Nice. Yeah, I could have sold my contract at like 300% gain, but I'm following my strategy. I mean, really, I like to keep things systematic, and I like to trade like a robot. I don't like to trade based off of something going up a bunch and taking the profits early. I'm just following my my data. So Etsy, we could take a look at Etsy. I think we've looked at Etsy in the past. Etsy has a nice. Oh wow, Etsy has a good month for February. How did it do? What did it do this February? Oh, it did good. Oh, you would have bought right before earnings, and you would be up 15%. So Etsy's a good stock for February. As far as other months, it looks like, and this is only 10 years data, so it's kind of more finicky, but it's still okay. Etsy does well in April, June, July, November. Well, November's kind of, it's got a nice distribution of performance here for Etsy. And the stock's cheap too. I definitely wouldn't trade it for March though. I would not touch the stock for January, March, May, September. Anything under like 65%, I wouldn't touch. So, nice stock though. Interesting. So, if you guys haven't heard already, I'm probably gonna hop off here at 12 o'clock, eat lunch, take care of a few things, and I'll probably hop on around 2:30, 3 o'clock. Hopefully I can. And yeah, we're gonna be on stream for the earnings post market. So I haven't done a post market stream. I should have done it for Netflix. It would have been great for Netflix because Netflix went up like. Let's go check. If I streamed Netflix back in January, Netflix went up 10%. I couldn't stream Netflix. The Netflix earnings. I had to go somewhere like when it was coming out. I was like way too busy. I couldn't stream it. I think I tried, but I couldn't. But today I think I will. I think I'll be able to. So, so I'm sure there's going to be a million other YouTubers streaming, finance guys streaming about NVIDIA today. So hopefully I can get a good amount of people in today's stream. And then probably this Sunday, probably going to aim towards this Sunday. I'm going to get a analysis stream going because we have to get ready for March. We're already approaching. Next week's going to be the last week, so the month's closing out fast. Hopefully we close out for a profit, right? Hopefully we close out for a profit. But if the expected move right now, right now I'm looking at an expected move of like $73. I think that's what the options chain was saying on the 2-day. Yeah, about $72. So, yeah, we're looking at about like a 10% gain to the upside or the downside. Gain or loss. So that would put us at 750 or 606, give or take. Now that's not, it doesn't have to happen. You know, we could have earnings come out and it trades flat. So, you know, no one knows what's going to happen. There's only three ways this thing can go: up, down, or flat. So, other than that, it's just wait and see. And again, like if you're in this trade right now and you're in profit, let's say, and you're nervous about it, or you need that money to pay a bill, or you know, it's a large amount of your net worth, I would suggest closing the trade. If you're not comfortable with the risk, losing 100% of what you're risking, get out of the trade now. Um, that's just my suggestion. That's all. Not financial advice, but I don't want to see anyone getting hurt. It's one thing to lose money, but it's another thing to lose a lot of money compared to what you have. That sucks. So, oh man. Let's go look at a 15-minute, 5 minute. Yeah, so we keep rejecting this like 683 level. Keep bouncing off of it. Just keep bouncing off that level. Yeah, CrowdStrike's down. A lot of CrowdStrike, Okta, Palo Alto, Fortinet, all the cybersecurity stocks are down. It's a sector-wide sell-off. So, and it's funny because Fortinet did pretty well for its earnings. They spiked up like 10%, I think. And then they sold off they sold off the spike pretty quick, but like we could take a look real quick. Like it spiked up, came back, and it was kind of drifting higher, and then it just fell out of bed today. So, but it seems like it's trying to regain. We were down like 7 or 8% earlier this morning, and it's trying to climb back up here. So we will see. No one knows what's gonna happen. If anybody like claims to know what's gonna happen, like don't believe them. If someone claims like, oh, this is gonna happen, I know it's gonna happen. Um, the market is almost completely random. Um, and like what I do, the way I trade and how I make money, like I like part of my strategy is just embracing the uncertainty and just saying, okay, like this stock typically does this for a month. It goes up. In this particular month, I'll buy a call option and I'll make sure I back test it and it's done well in the past, and that's it. And whatever it does, it does. Like, I'm not looking at a moving average or a MACD or some fancy indicator. You know, yeah, sure, you can use levels, but levels only work so much. And that's it. It's just like, it's no different. I view it as no different than putting your money into the S&P 500 or like a 401k, putting your money into a retirement account consistently over 30 years, let's say. It's no different than that. It's just like, yeah, I'm buying this. Yeah, it's probably going to go down in certain years, but over the long run, it's going to go up and I'll make money. That's how I view my trading. It's like, yeah, I'll have down months, I'll have down years, but over the long run, I'm going to make money. And that's it. That's how I just go about like my psychology. That's how my mindset works. Really, it comes down to managing your risk correctly and back testing. And then forward testing too, right? Tracking your performance, very important. That's what I'm doing already here with my trading journal. You know, I'm already tracking my performance for the past like 3-4 months. And you can see it. It's working. I'm making money. Now is this P&L going to be negative for some periods of time? Of course. Like, everyone loses money. Even the best traders lose money. No strategy is bulletproof. I mean, even the greatest investors of all time, like Warren Buffett, they lose money too. They lost 50% of their net worth during 2008. So, like, losing is just part of the game. But if you're in it for the long run and you manage your risk correctly and you have a little bit of an edge, you don't need a lot of edge in the markets to make money. People don't realize that. It really comes down to finding a little bit of edge, proving the edge by backtesting it, and sticking to your trade plan and having the correct psychology, right? Like, don't exit a trade early just because it's gone up or down a bunch, right? Like, stick to your plan if you're in it for a certain amount of time. So that's how I think about things, and it's been working. Like, ever since I took on this mindset and made my decisions based off of what I'm seeing in my analysis, not analysis on here, not on a chart, but within my backtesting and Excel sheets. Ever since I followed what I found in my research, I've been making money. And I'll tell you this right now, I'm making more than I expected to make so far. I have a good idea of what I can make typically, but like, you never know. You just have like surprise months where you buy an option and it goes up 600% in 1 month and you make an awful lot of money. Depending on your trade, like awful lot of money compared to your size of your trading account. But like those are the trades those kinds of trades, that's what traders live for, right? Like, I don't want to show like any of my private work, but I'm just looking at past performance and past trades, and you know, you can have literally one trade for 1 month make your entire year of trading. Literally one trade that goes up 600-700% in 1 month, and it dwarfs all your losers in the past, and it just bolsters your trading account to a surprising number. So it's all about risk to reward. It's all about sticking to your plan, having the right mindset. That's it. And if I had one suggestion for you guys, if you guys are trying to trade charts, or you're using a moving average to trade, or you're trying to use volume to trade, my suggestion is to move away from that stuff. And also move away from trying to day trade. If you're going to enter a trade, you should be in it for 3, 4, 5, 6 days or more. You should be putting on swing trades. I'll tell you this right now, hedge funds, big money managers, successful traders, not the ones that you see on YouTube, but the ones that you never hear about because they don't reveal themselves. I guarantee you most of them are swing trading, if not all of them. Scalping and day trading used to be feasible 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Not anymore. Not with the algorithms, not with the computers trading now. It's a whole different ballgame. The day trading and scalping is all done by the quantitative type of hedge funds, and it's basically all computer programmers now that run all that stuff, and you cannot beat them. They are way better than you. So swing trading is probably the best sanctuary you can go to if you want to become a successful and profitable trader. That and long-term investing. And believe me, day trading is, I mean, just the fees alone, the fees and the amount of time it takes out of your day, it's really difficult. It's more expensive and it's more time consuming compared to swing trading and position trading and long-term investing. So I just don't. It sucks that a lot of the YouTube videos they just present the shorter time frame stuff, and I think that's where a lot of people get hurt. Instead of buying a 1DT or 0DT contract on SPX or SPY or any other stock, you're better off going to a 50 DTE and holding on to it for a month and see where it goes. Patience pays. Got a couple stocks up. Apple's up, Amazon's up, Google's up, Tesla's up. Got a little bit of life in this market. VIX keeps dropping down. Are we setting up for a NVDA rally? Are the bulls taking control of this market today? These Amazon, Google, Tesla, these are if NVIDIA does well, these stocks are going to go up too. So, very interesting to see that. GRMN? Garmin? Is that Garmin? Yeah, Garmin. Whoa, 10%. Nice. Well, their past two earnings calls have been great. This one and this one happening now, and the previous one too. Look at Garmin. Look at the past 10 years. They do very well in November. Well, that's evident. I can see the evidence there. Whew. That would have been a good trade. So Garmin, man, this thing sold off a lot. It's a nice stock. I do like this stock. It's got a nice trend. Nice linear growth. Let's see. Well, for March, it's not horrible. I mean, it's been doing better recently in the month of March. So if you want to look at Garmin for like the past 5 years, it's been doing good for the month of March, right? But like the past 10 years, okay, 67%. Past 20 years, it's more so 50%, 58%. But I do like the growth on this. This is like looking really good. In March, let's see the median return for March. All right, so the median return's lower. If we look at average, it still has some return. November is definitely the month to be in this stock. You could see that on here too, 88% win rate. And then you could see it on the median return. November's a much better stock for Garmin. We could look at other stocks here. Let's see. Let's go to March and let's track. Let's do like 7 years. Lululemon. Lululemon does really well in March. I try to exclude March 2020 here. So really the win rate's higher because March 2020 was a Black Swan event, right? So nice median return on Lululemon. I may do like a trade on this one, like a small trade. Let's see how much it is though. I think it's expensive. We'll see. We'll see. That's an expensive trade though. I want to get into a trade that the masses can participate in. TQQQ. Apple may be a good candidate. Apple, Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree I know got hit. They took a hit. Oh, they're coming back up. How's Dollar General doing? Dollar General's coming back up too. But Dollar Tree, interesting. They're about a $700. Let me get the delta. 0.48, yeah, so about $700. Not bad. Yeah, I for Garmin, I would wait to buy that. I mean, listen, you could do it for March. It's there. Backtest it. I would definitely backtest it though. Make sure that the gains are worth it. I think the stock is much better off trading for November. NVDA's selling off again. Oh, back to its lows. Watch how it reacts down here. So like you see how NVIDIA on the 5-minute here is coming to its lows? Like if you're going to enter a call option, this is where you want to get in. Right, if you want to day trade this, you would get in like right here. Let's say I entered right here. Okay. Let's see where it goes from here. Like you would want to trade the range, right? So let's say I got in at 678. Let's see where it goes from here. This is some heavy selling too. I could just tell. Look at the volume. I like to do like theoretical trades. So like you can actually practice day trading, not even trading real money. You could just watch a chart, see a level, and say, okay, I'm going to enter right here, and just put a line on the chart and just sit back and watch it and see what it does. Um, but yeah, trading ranges is pretty easy, but that's probably the easiest way to trade. I think this would be a fun thing to do during live streams. Is just like put on a theoretical trade right here and just watch it. I could do simulated trading, but or real trading, but I don't really waste my money on day trades anymore. The risk to reward isn't there. Wow, those contracts are expensive right now. Wow. Alright, guys, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut down the stream for this afternoon, and then I will be back on at, let's call it 3 p.m. I'll be on at 3 p.m. So 3 hours and 5 minutes from now, we'll hop on. We will cover the last hour of trading and then go into the post-market trade and wait for NVIDIA's earnings. I think NVIDIA earnings time. So the earnings close at 5 p.m. and then I think the earnings come out at 4 o'clock. Yep, 4 p.m. So we're going to get some wild moves in the post-market literally as soon as we close. So, and my little theoretical trade I put on here, I'm in profit right now. So I'd be selling that. So there you go. So that's it. I will be back on later. Hope you all enjoyed the morning stream, and talk to you guys soon. Peace.